keeping it all the way real, because a lot of people who are familiar with my musical background have always asked me why. Right after I did the Jackson's miniseries, I released an LP called Love Ambition, which is more like it's a classic record back home in Chicago, because it's very it was kind of geared for an older audience back then. It was like real mature baby making music. Shout out to Keith Crouch, Rasan Patterson. They were the ones that wrote the title record, as well as a couple others on the album. Great songs. I just think that they were a little bit ahead of their time. Respectfully speaking, I don't think there was an audience that was ready to hear that yet from a kid my age. And respectfully speaking, as it relates to Motown, I don't know if they knew how to market that properly. But the upside to that is that the city of Chicago, my hometown, rallied around that record. WGCI, 106 Jams at that time, it's something else now, and the V103 of Chicago, those stations, and a lot of stations in the Midwest and the South rallied around the record, pushed it, and it became like kind of like a hood favorite for people that are in the stepping community. And so even now to this day, when you go to Chicago and you go to a stepper set or a steppers club, or if you go to a real club in Chicago and they play that song at like 2 in the morning when they trying to get your ass up out of the building, and they play the ballad to get you to take your ass home, that's my record 9 times out of 10 being played. That's the ballad to take your ass home and leave the club. So, but what ended up happening was Gerald Busby, rest in peace, who was the original CEO of Motown during that time, he signed me alongside with Steve McKeever. After they left Motown, Andre Harrell came in with his crew from Uptown. I moved to New York, worked with Andre Harrell and his crew at Motown Records for maybe like another couple of years. Released another single with them, kind of like a mid-tempo record called Stay With Me. And then I kind of just felt, keeping it all the way real, because a lot of people who are familiar with my musical background have always asked me why I hadn't put out any more music since then. I did a record with Chingy, but as far as like me as a solo artist, why I hadn't pursued it even more. And the main reason is because when I was at Motown, I just kind of felt like I wasn't able to express myself fully as an artist. I felt that I was dictated to more than my ideas being heard. I felt like I was moving in a way as an artist that was unauthentic as far as who I was and what I wanted to represent and what my story was. And there were a lot of suits and a lot of adults telling me what to do. And ultimately, because, and this is my personal opinion, because it wasn't coming from me, because it wasn't coming from my heart and my spirit, it wasn't received as well as it should have been, because I think that's kind of what the public may have felt as well. Like, I don't think they felt anything too genuine and authentic from it. So it didn't make the connection that I wanted, which in turn left a bad taste in my mouth as far as wanting to deal with record industry types. And then Smart Guy came along at that time. They were offering me shit tons of money to work on the show every week. I went to Suzanne DePass, asked her if she could set up a meeting with the Godfather, Mr. Clarence Avant. I sat down with Mr. Avant. I asked for a release from Motown Records, and he was gracious enough to grant me that.